So, this is my beautiful view here, as you can see. Just beautiful weather today. I mean, especially in the early AM. Yeah. What's up, guys? Good morning. It's another beautiful day in Dubai. You know what? I just realized that sometimes small things can make a big difference in life. You know, do you guys remember that movie a long time ago with Jim Carrey, the cable guy? And in the movie, Matthew Broderick asks his name's like, you know, what's your name? I never got your name. And Jim Carrey's response was like, you really want to know my name? As if it was like a very euphoric moment for him, like someone's asking for his name. But I gotta tell you, that's actually real. Because, you know, there's especially in our time right now, because of like this disconnect that we have with just, you know, with people in general, this social norm. You know, people are too much on their tablets and too occupied with technology, that sometimes when you talk to people, you don't even know their name. And so just by simply asking their name can make a huge difference, because it actually makes the other person feel warm, you know? So I just remember, just to share a story with you, back in, I think in 2012 or 13, I was at a Islamic convention. And one of my favorite scholars of all time is Sheikh Hamza Yusuf. I gotta tell you, he's just one of my favorite scholars. Someone I've been always following for my whole life. And when I got a chance to meet him, I mean, I think it was probably maybe my second time meeting him, or maybe my first, I'm not sure. But I remember when I was talking to him, in the conversation, he asked me, he goes, what's your name? And I said, do you want to know my name? Like, I didn't say that, but I was just like, inside, I'm like, he wants to know my name. Because before I met Sheikh Hamza Yusuf in the convention, a day prior, I actually met other scholars as well that was going on, you know, the speakers. And I would ask them questions, and none of them, you know, were really like, you know, what's your name, or, you know, where are you from? It was just like general questions, because I guess they were busy. But Sheikh Hamza Yusuf took his time and really, I did ask him a question, but he was like, what's your name? So just that small question meant the world to me, because, you know, I'm thinking like, Sheikh Hamza Yusuf wants to know my name, you know, which is amazing. And I realized that from then on, how important it was just for little things like that to make a big difference in people's lives, especially mine. So, you know, now in Dubai, I realize that a lot of these workers here, for example, you know, the grocery workers, the deliveries people, I mean, the people in the stores, how many times do we ask them their name right now? Like, how many times do we say, oh, by the way, what's your name? I'm going to say it's very rare. So, you know, when I'm actually when I was at the Samsung store, you know, talking to these workers, I'm like, yeah, well, you know, what's your name? And to them, it's like, yeah, you know, like, you want to know my name? Yeah, you know, what's your name? We're all human. But it makes a big difference, because there's a lot of people out there who just don't even take the time to ask people their name anymore. So, you know, when I was downstairs at the grocery store, there are some workers that I see every day. So I'm like, you know, what's your name? And so they gave me their name, but I think just that makes their day feel better. Like, someone's asking their name. They're not just a robot. They're not just a worker, but they're actually human. And we got to treat everyone like that as well, because it makes a huge difference in life, you know? We don't know what people are going through in life, what their struggles are, you know, but just to kind of connect with people, just asking their name simply can mean the whole day for them, you know, it can mean a difference for them. So just FYI, you know, I think when you're out these places, or you see the same people every day and they're workers, just sometimes just ask their name. Say, hey, by the way, what's your name? I never got your name. You know, make them feel human, right? Make them feel human and less robot, less worker. But yeah, another beautiful day in Dubai, and today we are going to take the kids out. So I'll show you where we're taking them, okay? Anyhow, talk to you guys later. Peace.